Hello and welcome back, and today I'm going to tell you the difference between WD Red Plus and WD Red Pro as quickly as possible. Now, we were looking at WD Plus because a number of you are noticing that the capacities and the performance of the WD Red Plus series is actually, once it gets to the larger capacities, getting quite close to that of Pro. But the Pro still arrive with a noticeable price difference of around 20 to 30% in some cases, but ultimately just a larger price overall. And some of you are wondering whether it's worth going Plus or worth going Pro. First thing to note about the difference between them is a Plus series drive is designed for up to 8 bays of storage. They both utilize CMR or PMR. There's no SMR in this video today, and if you know what they mean, thanks for watching. But this supports up to 8 drive storage arrays, so 8 bays, 6 bays, 4 bays and 2 bays, whereas the Pro series is designed for up to 24 bay devices. That we are talking about rack mount servers, we are talking about high-end virtualization. Ultimately, we're talking about big devices, but it does talk a big game. First and foremost, the Plus series has an RPM, rotations per minute, varying across capacities of around 5400 to 7200 across their range. The Pro series, on the other hand, is consistently 7200 across the entire capacity range, and therefore you are going to get a larger performance from that. Also, in terms of caching between the two of them, it's worth highlighting that the cache is seemingly larger across the bulk of the larger capacities on the Pro series than they are on the Plus series as well. Also, in terms of warranty, that's another big areas of difference between them, with the WD Red Plus series arriving with 3 years of manufacturer's warranty and the Pro series arriving with 5 years, which I know a number of you that care about warranties and want to make sure you are covered and want the brand to certify and guarantee that it's going to last for that long. Definitely, that is one reason why a lot of people, regardless of the scale of their solution, will go for a Pro. Both of them arrive with 1 million hours Mtbf, which I know has become a quite anachronistic term and one that not a lot of people measure by, but hard drives still use Mtbf, and it is equal across both platforms. But one thing I will add is that on the Plus series drive, it has a rated 180 TB workload per year, so it's terabyte workload on this drive, whereas the Pro series at the same capacities goes up to 300 TB workload, so a noticeable difference there, and a lot of that is to do with the throughput of that cache as well as the RPM pulling the drive through, the data through, but also the more enterprise architecture of these drives. A lot of them using helium seal technology or helo seal on their larger capacities. Now, in terms of performance, what that brings to the party is Plus series drives peaking out at around 210 to 215 megabytes per second across the high end of the range and dipping as you go to the smaller capacities. On the Pro series, on the other hand, you are looking at some higher performance overall, peaking at 240 megs, but even on their lowest ebb, outperforming Plus in almost every single regard. Now, it's not all good if you are going as a Pro series buyer. It's worth noting that they are noticeably noisier whilst in operation, partly because of that RPM, partly because of the enterprise nature of the drive, but this spins up, spins downs, clicks, hums and whirs will always mean that a Pro series drive will make more noise, and if you are going to be in close proximity with this drive, then you are going to notice it. And once you install a bunch of drives in a larger array, hence how they're designed to be used, you are definitely going to notice that larger noise there in the background, whereas a Plus will spin up, spin down considerably quieter and be less noticeable, hence why it is designed for those smaller arrays, whereas a Pro series designed for the larger, metallic, industrially noisy arrays in the first place are one, they don't care so much about the noise in that design. But one curious point is the idea that in the current iteration of Plus series versus Pro, like-for-like comparisons of capacity does seemingly show that less power is used on the Pro series than it is on the Plus. Now, whether that is because that cache is doing a lot of work there in the background, whether that is because of the helo seal technology taking care of a lot of the power consumption, we're not sure. But there's still no avoiding it. It's a very small difference, but definitely one worthy of note. But ultimately, if you are a business user that cares about warranty, that cares about performance, that cares about having a very robust, large system in your home or business environment, then go for the Pro regardless of capacities and regardless of the number of bays. I've seen people put these in 2s and 4s and 6 bay devices and they work like a charm. I mean, you can hear them a mile away, but they work like a charm. And go for the Plus series if you are a home user, if you are an SMB user, or you're using a smaller system at 2 to 4 or 6 bays of storage. But that has been WD Red Pro versus WD Red Plus. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found the video helpful. Click like if you did and subscribe to learn more. And I will see you next time.